The following story has been brought to you by StoriesToInspire.org.
So I want to share with you a magnificent story that I heard this week from a wonderful man. There's a fellow who gets up at a kiddush on Shabbat morning and he picks up a kibbe. For those of you who don't know what a kibbe is, I'm sorry. A kibbe is a torpedo-looking item that is stuffed with ground beef. Other people call it heaven, but I will call it, for the sake of this story, kibbe. This man in the minyan, he picks up a kibbe. And he says, because of this, my life was saved. Kibbe saved my life. Now, I have a very strong relationship with Kibbe, Lahmajin. We're on first name basis. I'm very fond of as many kibbes and lahmajins as I could get my hands on. But no kibbe ever saved my life. So the man says, a kibbe saved my life. Let me tell you about the power of a kibbe. He says, I grew up, I wasn't religious. I wasn't connected at all. Nothing bothered me about my Judaism. And you know what? He said, I'm not ashamed to say, back in the day, my business was open. I was working even on Shabbat. Anyway, one day, a fella comes up to me and he says, listen, I'm having mazeh at my house, Shabbat afternoon after prayers. Come to my house, some kibbeh, a little whiskey, we'll have a l'chaim. Come enjoy. The guy says, well, I'm going to work. What time are you going to work? He says, I'm going 12. He says, okay, come 11. We'll be finished prayers early. Come 11, we'll have a kibbeh, a whiskey. Anyway, the guy comes 11. He has a kibbeh, delicious. He has a mahshi, a tahina, he dips it in. He has a whiskey, feels great. It's 12 o'clock. The host tells the guy, he says, okay, Shabbat Shalom, you got to go now. Go to work. Guy goes to work 12 o'clock. Next week, calls him up. He says, you enjoyed the kibbeh last week? Yeah. He goes, come again. This week, he comes, what's it called, 11 o'clock? He has 2 kibbehs. And he has a whiskey and a half. You understand? And then he has a lahmajin. He goes, oh, I got to go now. He goes, it's 1 o'clock now. But he stayed till 1. The third week, he has 3 kibbehs, 4 lahmajins, a partridge, a pear tree, a whiskey, a cognac, a tequila, I don't know what he has. Okay? He sits there after 3 weeks. He looks around at his friend and the people sitting there. And he says, this is what Shabbat is. Relaxing, enjoying, spending the day with family, with friends, and slowing down the pace of life. He says, I ain't never going to work again. And from that, I started going to shul. And from that, I started learning. And from that, I built my family into Shomrei Torah and Mitzvot. His children, his grandchildren, keep Shabbat, go to shul, they study Torah, they do mitzvot, they give tzedakah. Why? Because one guy said to him, come over for a kibbeh. That's the power of a kibbeh. If that's the power of a kibbeh, what is the power of a human being?
Enjoyed this story? Come again. Bring a friend. StoriesToInspire.org